I'm Jackie. Welcome to Sailing CathayOz with me, Jackie. This week, we continue on our adventure in Whitsundays Islands. We will also look at wind. The wind shapes absolutely everything that we do. Where we go, what we do, our safety, the boat itself are all affected by where the wind is coming from and how strong it is. Before we do everything each morning, we check the wind and the weather. Join me this week as I explore some of the land-based attractions of the Whitsundays, and also get back to the reef for another look at the wonderful undersea life there. We will check in to lead back to Cape Gloucester, meet up with some old friends, and also we will join the annual Goonies gathering for some fun on and off the water. Let's go.
They call them the windy Whitsundays because the southeast trade winds can blow for weeks at a time. Fresh winds are great to sail in, but they can get old fairly quickly in the anchorage. Even the most protected anchorages will have imps and gusts running through. They shake the rigging, they snatch at the anchor. At times like these, you go looking for a bolt hole that is reasonably quiet and where you can easily access the shore to spend a bit of fun time on land. Just such a place exists not far from where we are, at a place called Cape Gloucester. The Cape provides good shelter from the trade winds, and there are 2 casual resorts there that welcome cruisers. The Cape is downwind though, so when we want to come back to the Whitsundays, it'll be against the wind, but it's worth it for a rest. Another reason for coming here is that we'll be joining a gathering of the Lagoon Catamaran group in another week or so, and this is an opportunity to check things out before the crowd arrive.
Sailing in fresh wind is fun, as long as it is not upwind. The boat goes really quickly through the water, the ride is smooth, and I can enjoy the view and the life in the sea.
Our boat is a Lagoon 440, and this model has the main control area on the flybridge. Actually, it's not really a flybridge since it is set into the coach roof of the cabin, so it's more like an actual bridge. The problem is that the bridge is exposed. There's a small bimini to provide some shelter from the sun, but there's no shelter from the wind or rain. So in bad weather, it's not as much fun as it is when the sun is out.
I have already decided that at the end of this cruise, we will completely close in the bridge with a hot top and the clear covers all around.
There will be a penalty to pay for this addition. There will be a lot more structure that will be affected by the wind, and that can be a problem when the wind is really up. On the other side, we will be able to sleep on the bridge when off watch, which is a big benefit on coastal passages. On coastal passages there are islands and reefs and shoals and cargo ships everywhere, so navigation is an active thing. On ocean passages it's simply a matter of travelling in a straight line, so we don't really need to use the bridge that much, but here it's different.
In the meantime, we get wet when it's raining, and we get blow when it's windy.
On our way to Cape Gloucester, there's a great opportunity to show the effects of the wind against tide. Out in open water, the sea conditions are determined by where the swell is coming from, as well as the effects of the wind on the water. When we get into a channel of water between two land masses, for example, the sea changes quickly. If the wind and the tide are going in the same direction, the water is usually flatter. If the wind is against the tide, then the narrow area between the land causes the tide to run faster, and the wind pushing against it tends to stand the water up into short waves. If there is enough tidal flow and enough wind, this can very quickly become quite dangerous. And it isn't just areas like this either. There are places on the open ocean where it can happen as well, such as the Agulhas Current in South Africa and the Gulf Stream in America. In both places, the effects of wind against current can make navigation extremely hazardous, if not impossible.
I'm a real fan of Cape Gloucester. It is a sneaky little paradise. Gloucester Island protects the anchorage from most of the wind, and the beach is long and beautiful. There are a large number of mooring boats owned and maintained by the resort that you can use for a modest fee. It doesn't have all of the noise and the movement of Hampton Island or Airlie Beach, and it doesn't have their price either. The Cape Gloucester resort is just about right. There is a single large entertaining and dining area set back in parkland from the beach. The meals are really very good, and if you eat here, they throw in that nice mooring for free. This is a gem of a place, and we look forward coming back here for the Goonies gathering soon. Our next stop is the town of Airlie Beach on the mainland. There is a big marina there, and we need to get some supplies. We were not looking forward to the trip back against the wind, but then nature decided that we needed some inspiration. It is really interesting to me that these magnificent animals so often just appear beside us and stay there for a few minutes before going on their way again.
Airlie is a town, but a big town. It's the launching place for almost all bareboat charters in the Whitsundays, and it becomes very busy. Even now, at the height of COVID, when Queensland is closed off to their biggest markets in the states of New South Wales and Victoria, it is bustling. It's one of those places that doesn't really care what the cognoscenti think about class or style. It's just loud and brash. And everyone appears to be bent on having the very best time possible.
We tried a local restaurant, which was good, but nothing beats the food and the atmosphere on CathayOz.
That's for sure.
The fact is, I like Airlie Beach. It was good to be around lots of people just out to have fun for a change. We can't stay here long though, because like Hampton Island, the marina rates are incredible high.
Aren't they high? That's amazing. After Airlie, we took off for some of the islands. We spent our days checking each of them out to see if you can really tell if one beach is better than another. In the afternoons, after the tide had risen, whilst we were exploring, I did the anchor dance looking for the hook for our dinghy in the waist-deep water.
We have to plan every trip we make in the boat. What will the wind be on the way there? And is there a safe anchorage that will protect us from wind? We use the local government weather service internet pages, and also we use protect wind. What we really want is 15 knots coming from the side of the boat when we are traveling, because that gives the best comfort and speed. That's not easy to arrange, unfortunately. So it's always a compromise.
Isn't it always a compromise? Like everything.
Yeah.
When we get to the place that we want to explore, there has to be a good anchorage on the leeward side of the land. That's the side away from the wind. Anchorages and anchoring are a whole subject on their own. But the first consideration is the wind. If there's no protection from the prevailing wind, then it isn't wise to stay.
We have met up with our friends Belinda and Greg again, and we are going out to the reef together with them because the wind will be light for a couple of days. Ocean reefs generally do not provide protection from the wind, so it's important to go when the wind will be light. We had dinner together the night before, and the Greg puts on a surprise light show to entertain us.
Wow.
CathayOz is urgent to get to the reef, and she cuts through the calm water until we are moored among the corals and the fishes. Mother Nature treats us another beautiful sunset. Each time I go under the water, I feel as though I'm leaving what I know and going into something mysterious. The sights and the sounds in the sea are so different from life on land. The cool water on my skin becomes nature, and I don't even notice it after a short while. My movement through the water uses different muscles, and I now move in 3 dimensions. Whenever I feel like it. There is a freedom to this experience, and there is also some fear of what might be out in the water that is beyond what I can see. The colors and the life and the constant movement and noise are thrilling. I just can't get enough of it. Life is like moving weightless through a dream.
Our trip to the reef was short, but it was really good. And it's with a bounce in our step that we haul sails and make for Cape Gloucester again for Goonies. Making our way through the passage and into the anchorage, we're greeted to the sight of dozens of Lagoon Catamarans riding at their moorings. Even though we are a day early, the place is nearly full.
At the Omba, we meet up with some old friends and a lot of new friends as well. Sailing people are almost all the nicest people. They are always friendly and really helpful. I learn a lot about managing life on board when I meet other sailors.
We spy a fishing trawler in the anchorage. Some friends confirm that it is a prawn trawler, and the captain is happy to sell some prawns right off the boat. The captain is a very interesting man, and he takes the time to show us his boat and how all of the equipment works.
In the end, I get a couple of kilos of wonderful fresh prawns and some fine lobsters for about half the price of the market. Yay! The Goonies gathering starts with the lowest costume that you can find. Unfortunately, the captain and me did not come close to the genius of some of the other Goonies.
The party went on with dinner and prizes well into the night. Goonies is organised by the Multi-Hull Group, who are the Australian distributors of Lagoon Catamarans. They put the event on every year, and for a truly modest personal cost, we had a fabulous time.
2021 Lagoon Escapade.
The next day started with a parade of sail for TMG's drones to capture, and then we were all off on not a race, to a nearby island and back. We started in a moderate breeze, but it picked up quickly. After we reached the island, it was touching on 30 knots, and most of us decided that was enough and motored most of the way back.
There were some more events on the beach, including a stand-up paddleboard championship. There was not too much standing up going on. My captain was very kind. He made his way to the back of his heat to make sure that he could help anyone who fell off. That's what he said, anyway. Sometimes the man behaves 50 years younger than he is. With Goonies at the end, everyone went their separate ways. All of those ways were sourced to the Whitsundays and elsewhere, all except CathayOz. As the sun rose from the horizon, she pointed her head north. That way leads to adventure.